The topic that I'm choosing right now is from ray optics. Okay, so my topic would be that is mainly I will be focusing on refraction. Start refraction. We will be discussing on the reflection a little bit about it, and then we'll be talking about refraction, and then we'll be going to TIR, total internal reflection. And then we will be talking about the practical example also. And yes, I'll be showing you, some simulation so that for the better understanding. Okay, so let's start with the reflection. What are the things that you know related to reflection?
Definition.
The surface should be smooth. Like this surface that I'm using, that has to be smooth. If this is smooth, in that case, you can say that angle of incidence will be equals to angle of reflection. This is your incident ray and this is your reflected ray. So there is a one law that you need to remember from the reflection, that is angle of incidence is equals to angle of refraction, right? And here, as you can see, it is incident on the same medium and it is reflecting back in the same medium, right? And the one thing that I told you, the condition for the reflection is the surface has to be smooth. What if the surface is not smooth? Let's suppose it is not smooth surface. So in that case, what is going to happen? Angle of incidence will not equals to angle of reflection. Okay. So the first condition that we need to remember, that is the surface that we need, that should be smooth. That is perfect. Now let's talk about refraction. This we talked about in the same medium. The medium could be what? Air. What is medium? Medium means air, water, glycerine, petrol, something like that. There should have some medium and a vacuum. So these are some mediums, by the way. Okay. Now let's talk about refraction. Okay. Now what is refraction? For the refraction, there must be some different medium. Like if you, but I'll tell you, see, when the light travels in air, let's suppose this is your air and let's suppose this is your water. Okay, so when light enters in the air, and it will be what is the speed of light in air? It's 3 times 10 raised to power 8, right? Speed of air. Now this is water. So what happens? The speed of the light actually changes in water. This is the maximum speed of the light. If you change it some in other medium, water, glycerin, or any other medium, speed decreases. So what is happening? This is your one medium, which is air, and this is your water. So light will bend towards the normal. Why it is bending? Because the speed of the light will change. The speed of light changes when you change the medium. So this is your angle of incidence and this is the angle of refraction. So it is bending because medium has changed and medium is changing the speed of light. Because of that, this happens. And I can give you an example also. Let's suppose this is mud and this is normal, you can say normal air or something. Okay, so let's suppose this is your car. Right now your car is moving with 3 kilometers per second, let's suppose. Now, but when you are moving in the mud, isn't it, its velocity will decrease, right? So that is why, because its velocity is decreasing, so it will actually change its direction. Similarly, when the light is in the air, so when it actually moving from one medium to another, its velocity changes. Now here we actually apply Snell's law. Which law? Snell's law. Do you know what is Snell's law? Light in this medium, speed of the light in the air, that will be divided by sine. Sine theta, cos theta, you know it. So sine of I. So speed of the light in the air and sine, that is the trigonometric function, and the angle it is making in the air only from the normal, that angle I will be taking. That will be equals to velocity in the water. That will be divided by sine, the trigonometric function. And now in the water, the angle it is forming, that is r from the normal. So this is the Snell's law. This is the one form of the Snell's law. This is the one form of the Snell's law. Actually, light is traveling from air to water. So light is traveling from rarer to denser. Right? Rarer medium is the medium where the speed of the light is more, and denser medium is a medium where the speed of light is less. Making sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. Now, do you know there is a word called refractive index?
Yes.
Do you know anything about refractive index?
I know, but I don't remember it right now.
Okay, yeah, I think it's a very complicated, term basically. Refractive index. So refractive index, first of all, this is called mu. We said it mu. So refractive index is a number. It gives you a number. Refractive index tells you how slower the speed of the light will be. Like the formula of the refractive index is C by V. This is C, the speed of light in air. Speed of light in air divided by speed of light in some medium. So basically, it is a ratio of the speeds only. It doesn't have any unit. It doesn't have any dimensions. है ना? Now, what is actually telling? Let's suppose I have written mu of glass. Mu of glass is 1.5. What is it actually telling us? This actually tells us that speed of light. है ना? If I'm saying, you know what, refractive index of glass is 1.5. If I'm saying refractive index of a glass is 1.5, that means speed of light is less, or you can say speed of light in glass is 1.5 times slower than in air. Okay, so this basically telling us that how slowly the speed of light will travel compared to air. So refractive index, first of all, it is a number. Secondly, it will be telling us how slower the speed of light would be. Okay, cool enough?
Yes,
Understood? Understandable? Velocity of the air, that will be equals to refractive index, sorry, that will be equals to sin I, and that will be equals to V of medium. That will be divided by sine of R. Okay. Now, as we know, refractive index is what? C by V, right? So if this is 1, this is 1, this is 2, then this is 2. Speed of light is the same, because whenever I'm writing C, that means I'm talking about air. Whenever I'm writing C, that means speed of the light in the air. Okay, so here I'll just substitute the values. Okay, so I can write over here V of air, that will be equals to C divided by mu of air, right? So I'll just write it over here. C divided by mu of air, that will be divided by sin I. Okay, and that will be equals to, again, C divided by mu of medium, that will be divided by sin R. So this C will get cancel it out. So eventually what you will be getting, mu of air sin I, that will be equals to mu to sin R. I think I've been written here. Mu of air, mu of medium, sin R. This is the basic law of Snell. And whenever somebody is asking you what is the Snell's law, so Snell's law tells us the relation between refractive index and angles. Acha, this is what we are talking about in the ray optics. In the wave optics, we actually prove this Snell's law. In the wave optics, it's a chapter next to the ray optics. In that, we actually prove this. Okay, so can I give you a numerical? Will you do that? Related to it? Okay. So let's suppose refractive index of the air is 1. Let's suppose incident angle would be 30 degree. Refractive index I'm taking 3 by 2. Now calculate R. Try this.
Is it 20?
Okay, so how would you do this? So you will be substituting 1 multiplied by sine 30. That will be equals to 3 by 2 sine R, right? What is the value of sine 30? Sine 30 is 1 by 2. Okay, sine 30 is 1 by 2. That will be equals to 3 by 2 sine R. So sine R, that will be equals to 1 by 3. So your angle R, that will be equals to sine inverse 1 by 3. Got it? Cool enough? Sine 30, sine 60, sine 40, sorry, sine 45. That is a table that I'll tell you afterwards how to remember that. There is a trick to remember that table. So yeah, so this is how we are going to solve it. So there are 4 variables: I, refractive index, R, and refractive index. So 3 values will be always given. 4th one you have to calculate in every case. Okay, good one? Good to go? Acha.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now tell me, when the light is traveling from one second. Now let's suppose when this is rarer medium, and this is denser medium. Again, this is rarer medium, and this is your denser medium. Okay. So tell me, in which of the case light will bend far away from the normal? In which of the case, like it should be rarer to denser, denser to rarer, in which case light will move away from the normal?
It depends on the medium.
Sorry, what?
It depends on the medium.
Yeah, it does depends upon the medium. So when the light travels from rarer to denser, will it bend away from the normal, or will it bend towards the normal?
Towards the normal.
It will bend towards the normal. Perfect. So I'll just draw towards the normal. Perfect. Okay. Now what if the light is traveling from denser to rarer?
It will move away.
Perfect. The light will move away from the normal. Perfect. So when light is traveling from denser to rarer, it will move away from the normal. So when light is traveling from rarer to denser, it will move towards the normal. Perfect. Nice. Now if I talk about total internal reflection. In the total internal reflection, my first condition is the light will always travel from denser to rarer. It will always move from denser to rarer. What is a denser medium? If I tell you what is a denser medium, how will you define it? What is a denser medium? In the denser medium, speed of the light is less compared to the rarer one. Okay, nice. So when the light falls on the denser medium, it will move away from the normal. Hai na? 1 minute, I'll just draw it perfectly. It will move away from the normal, right? This is your I and this is your R. Hai na? Again, if I draw, same. What if I increase the angle of incidence? Will angle of refraction will also change?
Yes.
Right? So now in that case, what I'm doing is, now this is my angle of incidence and this is my angle of refraction. So if I increase the angle of incidence, my angle of refraction is also changing, right? Can you see it's changing?
Yes.
Perfect. Now what if I actually increase more angle? The light will, now I will increase the light this much. Now what is going to happen? The light will go over here, the light will go over here. This is the point. This is the point where angle of refraction becomes 90 degree. So whenever angle of refraction becomes 90 degree, this angle of incidence will be calling it as critical angle. What will be saying?
Critical angle.
Right. In the critical angle of refraction would be
90 degrees.
90 degree. Perfect. Can you apply Snell's law over here? Let's suppose refractive index, this is 1 and refractive index is mu 2. Can you apply Snell's law over here?
What about the refractive index of 1 or 2?
Yeah. So see, this is air. Okay. 1 minute. This is your air. Air has refractive index that is 1. And here you can write mu 2.
We only know that sin is critical angle, but we do not know what the angle is, right? So then how is
Yeah, we have to calculate that only. So what is the, how you will be applying? See, refractive index of the first one with the sine, 1 second. Refractive index for the first one and the angle it is making, that is 90, right? So the sine 90, that will be equals to mu 2, and what angle it is forming? Sine IC, right? So your sine 90 is 1, so mu 1 and And what is mu1 given? Air, right? So 1. So 1 multiplied by 1 because sine 90 is 1. That is mu2 sine IC. That is what you have to do. So sine IC, that will be equals to 1 divided by mu2. Yeah, this is how you're going to apply Snell's law. That is it. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. Okay. Nice. So this is how you will be applying. So critical angle is the angle when the
Hello, ma'am.
Okay. So I was saying, what if I increase angle greater than critical angle? So if my angle of incidence is now greater than critical angle, in that case, what is going to happen? Total internal reflection. What is going to happen? TIR, total internal reflection. Why diamond shines? Because of the total internal reflection. Because of the total internal reflection. How are, internet, have you heard about optical fibers? Have you heard
Yes.
optical fiber? In the optical fiber also, the electromagnetic radiation that is going on in that optical fiber, that is also works on the principle of TIR only. On the principle of TIR, this is how the radiation travels. So basically TIR is when the light travels from denser to rarer, and second condition is angle should be greater than critical angle. In that case, what is going to happen? TIR. In that case, what is going to happen? TIR. Total internal reflection. Okay. Now, as I can show you, 1 minute. This. So see, right now, so light should travel from rarer to denser to rarer, right? So I'm making this as glass and this is as air, right? So initially, what I can see that here, yeah. So here, can you see the total internal reflection has happened over here? It came in the same medium only, right? So this is called TIR. Okay. Now in the same medium it traveled. In the same medium it traveled. That is called total internal reflection. Okay. Is this clear? Is this making sense?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. After that, we actually study prism. Okay. So is this enough for the demo?